Welcome back to Don't Just Sit There, Do Something. I'm Joylette Portlock, and today we're going to talk about what urban farmer Will Allen, the leaders of Disney, PepsiCo, and IKEA, hunters and fishermen across the country, and Pope Francis all have in common. Oh, I totally got this. Basic humanity. What else they all have in common? They all support action on climate change, not because of politics, but as a matter of justice, to protect people now and in the future. I like justice. Justice is good.
That's practically a tautology.
Language?
97% of climate scientists agree that man-made climate instability, because of pollution from burning fossil fuels, is already happening, and it's the people who have the least that will get hurt the most.
Yes, I ordered the scallops. What do you mean they're extinct?
The people most at risk are children, especially poor children, the elderly, those in coastal regions, and without access to health services. The World Health Organization estimates that 250,000 people will die from climate change every year by the middle of this century.
Yeah, that is starting to sound just a titch like a matter of right and wrong. World leaders are beginning to agree. In May, Pope Francis published a 200-page encyclical on the environment, directed not just at Catholics, but at all the people of the world. In it, he stresses the need for a global movement to protect the poor by reducing consumption and renewing our relationship to creation, making a strong moral case for climate action. Thousands marched in Rome in June in celebration of the Pope's words, and religious leaders of many faiths have given support.
Well, it's not my field of expertise, but one thought is to walk a more righteous path away from fossil fuels, past feeling powerless to positive action and making amends.
Are you talking about the Bible?
Actually, that's from the 12-step program for dealing with addiction.
I see what you did there.
Here at home, environmental justice communities are the places that get the short end of the environmental degradation stick. Low-income communities and often communities of color. These places usually have industrial pollution literally in their backyard. Climate justice communities are many of these same places, as well as other places with few resources that will suffer the worst impacts of climate change. Drought, sea level rise, storm surges, spread of infectious disease, flooding, poor air quality.
Big news. In early August, President Obama and the Environmental Protection Agency announced the final version of the Clean Power Plan to reduce climate destabilizing pollution from U.S. power plants almost a third below 2005 levels by 2030. This is the first ever federal regulation to reduce our existing climate pollution from the power sector.
It will also reduce lots of other kinds of pollution and is being pitched as a victory for public health. It will save thousands from premature death, heart attacks, and asthma attacks.
The Clean Power Plan is being hailed internationally as a clear sign that the U.S. is serious about committing to a binding climate agreement during United Nations talks later this fall. But I mean, okay, playing devil's advocate here, shouldn't I have the right to burn as much oil, coal, and natural gas as I want so that I can drive my car and heat my house and watch reality TV? I mean, even if it means some people's houses will get washed away or they'll die because of heat exposure or air pollution, and probably me or someone I love will be one of those people. Okay, no, never mind. It's pretty evil. And I guess that's why they call it devil's advocate.
The way we get energy from fossil fuels is inherently unsustainable. There's not an endless supply. Even if we don't switch to clean energy, at some point we'll run out. And by then, we'll be paying around $100 billion a year in climate-related damages.
Translation. Even if you're a filthy rich sociopath who doesn't care about leaving a legacy of death and destruction, it's still a really bad idea.
Nobody wants to think of themselves as the bad guy. But the truth is that by not thinking about our actions, by failing to recognize and act to prevent the pain of others, we become the villain.
Well, forget that. If I get to pick, and from what you're saying, I do, then I'm going to be a hero.
It's a big job, but as it turns out, there's nothing like trying if you want to do something.
Here are 2 simple things you can do right now to help. First, drink water from a reusable bottle instead of a single-use one. For starters, bottled water costs literally thousands of times more than tap water.
Every pound of plastic for bottled water is an extra pound of climate pollution in the air. More if you don't recycle it. Improper disposal worldwide has led to plastic waste in the ocean, on the beaches, and throughout many poor communities. And tests show bottled water is no safer to drink than tap water. So carry your own.
Secondly, the Clean Power Plan is a federal rule, but it's up to each state to make a plan to meet its target reduction. Take a few seconds to click here and urge your governor to enact a strong climate protecting plan. Let your governor know you want a solid Clean Power Plan for your state and carry your own water. In other words, don't just sit there.
Don't just sit there.
Don't just sit there. Do something. Do it! Do it now! You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, YouTube, iTunes, or on the web at djst.tv. So watch again and tell your friends.